Hello creative ones, I'm Michelle with Mixed Media Art and welcome to our gel printing fundamentals. So in this episode we're going to talk about cleaning and caring and storing for our gel plates. We invest quite a bit of money in this tool and we really do want to make sure that we look after it so that it will last many years. So let's jump in. So a few things we've covered as far as setup goes, and we'll just make sure that we touch on those. So when you first get your gel plate out of its clamshell, it comes with two little slippers on either side plus a leaflet. Now we want to take that leaflet out of the clamshell. We want to pull off the two protective plates and then we can just store it straight back into the clamshell. Alternatively, I leave mine on this piece of plastic that I use, and then I just pop it straight back into these tins. Now I'm not sure if these tins are still available, but I think it's good to have it set away so that nothing's touching the top surface. There's some discussions around whether you keep them lying flat or standing upright. I think as long as they're not going to be too hot and you don't want to put any weight on them, then storing them either way is fine. If you're using them often, you can certainly leave them out. I do find that it collects a little bit of dust and, that's not always a big problem, but sometimes it can, get onto some of your first prints. So when we talked about pulling the layers, I don't usually clean the plate during our layers unless we want to go from a dark to a light. After a while though, we do get a little bit of this build-up, and the one thing that I will often do is just use a baby wipe. These ones are fragrance free so they don't smell too strong, and just give it a bit of a wipe. And then sometimes we do need to go and get all these little bits off. Sometimes they do create some little dents and can interrupt our gel printing. Now the other thing I'll do once in a while, we do want to be really careful what else we put on top of it. So other than baby wipes and a little bit of water, I really wouldn't do much. The only thing I'd use is a little bit of baby oil, and that can actually be quite good to give it a good clean and a conditioning every now and then. But this is certainly something I would only do, every 6 months. And even when we have classes, we find that quite often just a baby wipe is quite enough. But we do find that if we get a little bit of oil onto it, it will help keep it clean. And again, we're really only using acrylic paint, so we're mindful about what we put on it. We're not going to keep it in hot cars because it can melt if it gets too hot after a while. And then certainly, I think it's time for some more baby oil. Is just to use that or a proper cleaner. Certainly don't use anything that's too harsh that could possibly damage the surface, or something that could react to the plastic, because that is the last thing that we want to do, is to damage this surface. Now if anything does happen because perhaps you've used something a bit sharp, you can always turn it over and use the other side. We do have two sides, so that certainly makes it easier as well. And again, for the sort of prints that I'm doing, it doesn't matter if it's got a few little buckles and bows and dents in it, because we're just creating beautiful papers and that can just help add to the texture. So just using that baby wipe to get off that build up of paints, and then it is ready for me to pop back either into its clamshell packaging without the sides, and definitely without the leaflet or the information might transfer, or back into its tin, and then it will be ready to go for another day. So I hope that's given you just a few little things to consider when you're cleaning and storing your gel plate. We want to make sure that it is kept flat, that we don't set anything too heavy on it. Now whether you keep it standing up or lying flat is completely up to you. It just needs to go back in the clamshell or in a tin so that it doesn't get dust on it and it is ready for you to go. When we're cleaning it, just keep the really simple baby wipes or water and a cloth. Don't use any solvents on it, and then once in a while give it a bit of a wipe with some baby oil to get it ready to go. So if you do have any comments, or if you've got a favourite way of cleaning your gel plates and storing it, I would love to hear about it. So pop it there in the comments. For all the details of what's going over at Mixed Media Art, as well as our upcoming classes, head over to our website, mixedmediaart.net, and I look forward to seeing you soon. So let's continue with this gel printing fundamentals and have a crafty day.